Just historically, free agents haven't come to Portland. Big-time free agents haven't come to Portland. Do you view that as a hurdle,
It's absolutely a hurdle, you know, and I think I've said it. You know, we talked about a couple of guys. If we were to, you know, whenever we break the ice on that, Jace, you know, we get that first guy to come, it'll be unprecedented when you look at the history. I think we've gotten good free agents, you know, Brian Grant and Wesley, and you know, and guys like Farouk and Ed Davis, and you know, players like Chris, and we've gotten guys, but they've had the right sensibility, you know, that we knew that they would work in this marketplace, they'd fit with the team. The key for us is making sure the guys we get are about what we're about. You know, that basketball is their first priority, and they'll subordinate lifestyle at times for success on the court. And that's what we've tried to do. And all we can control is creating the best basketball environment we can possibly control. And I think the longer we're at this and the more we do this, I think, you know, our guys that were here become ambassadors for the way they were treated. And you want that to kind of, you know, circulate around the league about that this is a place you want to go. If basketball is your priority, they'll make you the priority. You'll work as a team and as an individual. And look, but it doesn't mean we're going to stop trying, Jason. The easy way out is to say, hey, we're in a non-destination market. We're not going to go play in that pond. And I don't think that's true. I mean, I think we've gotten meetings. We've been close. We have gotten some guys to commit, whether it be offer sheets or not. And, you know, circumstantially it didn't work out. But we're in the mix, and I think the more that you play on a national stage, this year was integral. I can tell you the conversations we had last year was players that had choices opted for playoff teams. And I think the narrative last summer was, God, I like you guys, we like Dame, we like some of the guys that are there, but I just don't think even with me, we're a playoff team. And I think now that's just understood. I mean, we're in the second round as is, and we have a slot, and we can go into that meeting and say, look, we're already in this position. So I think that's, we just need to get the first domino to fall, Jason. But I think in a market like Portland, in a culture that we have, player retention is always going to be key first. You know, acquiring players through the draft or trade, bringing them into our culture, getting them to adapt to how we do things and embrace how we do things, and wanting them to stay here. And I think we've talked about this. Look, Dame is the first guy. You know, this is a guy who has an incredible off-court presence. He's got a big portfolio off the floor in terms of endorsements, and there was never a question mark about him being here, signing on full 5 years, no player options, no outs. He was fully committed, and that sends a message across the league to, you know, to his colleagues and the guys that he wants to work with and want to work with him.
There's at least one guy on Terry's staff who will be interviewing for a head coaching job. Obviously, you're not going to stand in the way of that, but will you look to make this a more lucrative deal for his staff to stay here?
How do you know it's not lucrative?
Well, more lucrative.
I can tell you we're incredibly competitive with the assistant coaches. We structure them maybe differently than some other teams do. I can tell you they all have great value. I'd be surprised if all three guys didn't at some point get head coaching interviews this year, depending on where the process goes. You know, I talked to Memphis today for Nate. I think he would be an incredible choice in Memphis. He's a great young coach. He's ready for the opportunity. He has the body of work. Jay's already been a head coach. David Vanterpool will be on that list. He's had head coaching interviews last year. So consistency and stability are really important, not just for all of us, but you know, Terry and I were in meeting before we came in here about his guys and, you know, making sure that we're really aggressive with trying to retain the staff. And, you know, obviously if somebody gets a head coaching situation, it's totally different. If somebody moves from behind the bench to the front of the bench, that's a different jump. But the goal is to keep this program in place because it's working.